Waiting for everything. Awesome, we are live. Hey there guys, I'm Jesse Crow, the traveling scientist here in quarantine in Australia. It's day 3 and I've got nothing better to do than to go live every single day and speak some rubbish to you guys. So thanks so much for joining me if you're gonna come and watch. Yesterday I told the story of how and why I quit my job as a scientist to start traveling the world and start a YouTube channel. That was my story for yesterday. You can check that out on YouTube and Instagram TV. Today I wanted to tell the story about what I did when I first got to America. My adventures through America. I got there with no plans. I just flew straight to LA and ended up doing some crazy things. G'day Lou, Terry, good to see you guys. Thanks for joining in. So today I'm going to tell the story of how, and Rose is here as well. G'day Mary. Today I want to tell the story of my adventures in America. I got there with no plans. I had no idea what I was doing, and that ended up evolving into an insane adventure through 13 states all around the country, well, a lot of the country, and it was really cool. G'day Terry, Lou, the beers were awesome. Shout out to Mez, who sent me 12 beers yesterday. I didn't even think I could get beers in this hotel. There's like a sign saying that we don't serve alcohol. And all of a sudden there was 12 beers at my door. So thanks so much, Mary. Appreciate that. Can have a couple of cheeky quarantinis. Eli, good to see you, mate. Hope you watched yesterday's because I shouted you out yesterday. Today, one last time, because I'm getting a few people joining now, going to tell the story of how I first got to America. But before I do that, I need to shout out to my good friend Square Pie, a YouTube follower who sent a comment yesterday saying he's in a similar boat. He's got no idea what he's doing with his life. And dude, I get it. Everybody gets it. Nobody knows what they want to do with their life. And if you do, good for you. But if you don't, you just got to follow your heart, you know? Anyway, that's my little bit of advice for Square Pie. My other shout out today is to Mary Rose, who sent me a message asking me about some of my favorite things in America. Which I'm going to get into as I'm talking about America, but just quickly, my favorite hike was probably the Narrows, which is in Zion National Park. The Narrows is wicked. Look up that walk. It's probably one of the coolest hikes ever. It's pretty much knee deep in water the whole way, which sounds terrible, but it's freaking beautiful. You gotta check it out. And my favorite food in America was probably caramel M&Ms. And I guess you can probably get those anywhere in the world, but they're everywhere in USA and they're so easy to pick up, and you buy a pack and you just sit them next to you in the car and you just eat caramel M&Ms and then you get fat. It's pretty much what I did in America and it was great. So caramel M&Ms, get around them. Anyway, and finally, Mary also wanted to know what my favorite little odd jobs I did when I was in America, which I'm going to get into in my story today. Because basically when I first got to LA, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't have any plans. And my first impressions of that city were like, it's like GTA. Honestly, it's scary. The GTA 5 that just came out, that was years ago now, is based on LA. And walking around, I just felt like I was in GTA. Like I was afraid to walk on the streets. I felt like I was going to get hit by a car or shot at. Like, LA is a pretty scary city to just walk around in. But I got used to it. It was all right. And I stayed in Hollywood at an Airbnb for a few nights, which, you know, it sounded glitz and glamorous, but Hollywood's kind of a dump, to be honest. I don't know if you've ever been, but it's nothing special. Anyway, spent a couple days there, and then I got a bus. I was going to get a train, because apparently the train up to San Francisco is beautiful. Pretty expensive. So hey Cassie, hey Jackie, good to see you guys. So I got the bus from LA to San Francisco. Was a little bit cheaper, pretty boring, but I got there, and San Francisco was a bit of a nicer city. It was really cool, beautiful place to walk around, lots of gardens. It's a very gardeny city. And that was really cool. And then from there, I actually got an email from a guy called Tom. And he was one of my YouTube followers, and he said, hey, I live up in California, come and stay. And I was like, all right, that sounds good. So Tom and his family actually came to San Francisco and picked me up and took me up towards Sacramento to the town of Biggs, where I got to live on their farm. You know, they gave me a bed, they gave me food, they gave me odd jobs because you can't legally work in America. So I would just help out around the house for a little bit of extra cash. And I was working in Tom's woodwork shed, like building chairs. I was just doing woodwork and I have no experience, but basically I was learning and getting paid to do it, which was incredible. And then while I was staying there, Tom helped me find a car, and I found an awesome Ford Freestar minivan, which I called Vanessa. Missed that car. I still own that car, actually. It's sitting on a farm somewhere in Canada. Anyway, I got this car from a town called Paradise in just near Biggs, and I got it from a nice old man. He took really good care of it. It was a really young car, not too much mileage. And then I went back to the farm and Tom helped me build a bed in the back of that car so I could basically road trip and live out of the back of my car. And yeah, Tom Thornton was super helpful in really getting me started in my whole adventure around America and Canada. I have to dedicate to this wonderful guy who really helped me out so much. He was an absolute legend. And unfortunately, he passed away. And that was really sad, and a lot of love to his family, because that is still super unfortunate. But he was a great man, and he will not be forgotten. Anyway, started my road trip. I got in my car. I still didn't know where I was going, but I traveled around California. I went through Yosemite National Park. I went through Death Valley, one of the hottest places in the world, aptly named. I went through the extraterrestrial highway in Nevada, and I actually found Area 51, which was super freaky. And these are all stories of their own. And if any of these interest you, you can check out my YouTube channel. I've got videos on all of these topics. There's one on Yosemite, there's one on Death Valley, there's one on Area 51. And I was just driving. And I was just exploring America and sleeping out of the back of my car. I didn't pay for camping one time in USA. I just pulled over on the side of the road and camped, which was wicked. And I saved a lot of money that way, and I got in a bit of trouble as well. It was a bit sketchy sometimes, but after the extraterrestrial highway, I ended up in Las Vegas, where I met up with, shout out to Tyler and Kelly and Mitch and Mary Rose. Met up with all those legends in Las Vegas, and we had a wicked time. We went to the Tournament of Kings, or Tournament of Legends, whatever it was called. Did some gambling, had some partying, had some crazy nights in Las Vegas. It's a really cool city. Really is the city of lights. Check that out if you never have. You think you might have heard of it before. Just going to take a little break here and point out that today's live is brought to you by Red Rock Deli. Chips. Not really, but I haven't eaten these in 3 years now, so bear with me, because I'm super excited to try these. It's just my little intermission for this live video. So good. So good to have Red Rock Deli chips in quarantine. Love it. Oh, what a good day. I mean, the weather outside's terrible. But, you know, pretty safe and happy here at my hotel. So I'm not complaining. Anyway, Las Vegas. Had a bit of a party there. Oh, what are you doing? Had a party in Las Vegas. That was incredible. And then I did 4 national parks in 4 days after Las Vegas. I hit up the Grand Canyon. I went to Zion National Park in Utah. I went to Bryce National Park in Utah. And I went to Monument Valley, which is that cool deserty place with all the big rocks that you see in all those classic Western cowboy movies. I did those 4 national parks in 4 days. Super incredible. Some amazing places. I camped out at Monument Valley and it was freaking beautiful. Hi, Carly. Good to see ya. Thanks so much for joining me live, guys. I really appreciate this. I'm doing it same time every day, 11 o'clock West Australia time, 1 o'clock, 1 p.m. East Australia time, and 8 p.m. if you're over in Canada or the United States on the West Coast over there. That's where some of my buddies are. Hey to you guys. After the 4 national parks, I get a message from a good buddy, Hassan. Shout out to Hassan, who I met in London like nearly 10 years ago. And Hassan was like, hey, I'm in Texas. You should come and party on the 4th of July. I got this message on the 2nd of July. On the 2nd of July, I was in Utah. And Texas is like 1,000 miles away, I think it was. But this was just an opportunity I couldn't pass up. I had to get to Texas, to Austin, Texas for 4th of July. So I got in Vanessa, a minivan, and I started driving, and I drove straight, and I just kept driving. I pulled over on the side of the road for a few hours sleep, and I just drove all the way from Utah down to Austin, Texas. And I made it late night on the 3rd of July, and I was there with my buddy Hassan, got to stay with him for a while in Chelsea. Shout out to Chelsea as well. And they took such good care of me, and we had an incredible 4th of July party. America's pretty cool. They know how to celebrate. But that was wicked. But then the problem was my visa was, I didn't have a lot long left on my visa. I didn't have a lot of money left by the time I had ventured through all those states. I was in Texas, which is in the southeast, relatively, of USA. And I needed to get to Vancouver, the northwest corner of USA and Canada. So I had to drive ridiculously far in not a lot of time. And that was a whole nother adventure involving quite a few more states, a few more epic national parks, and a few more funny stories. But I'm going to save those stories for tomorrow. So I hope you check back with me tomorrow. But thank you so much for joining me today live, guys. I really appreciate it. I'm stuck here in quarantine in Australia. It's nice to be back, but I can't do much. So I'm going live same time every day, telling stories, answering questions, and eating tasty snacks. So, thank you guys for watching. Check back tomorrow, same time, 11 o'clock West Coast of Australia, 1 p.m. East Coast of Australia, 8 p.m. on the West Coast of America and Canada. I'm going to be here telling stories. Tomorrow, I'm going to be explaining how I got from Texas in the bottom corner. We got a choice of fish tacos or shrimp tacos? Sorry, I just got a really random message. They both sound awful. I just watched Seaspiracy last night, and now I don't want to eat fish or shrimp. Check that movie out if you're interested. It'll change your life. Right. Tomorrow, I'm telling the story of how I got from Texas out of America and into Canada in a very short time with a very short amount of money. It was a hell of an adventure. Can't wait to tell you that story here tomorrow. Until then, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you all. Love you all. Give someone a compliment today. Do it for me, because I can't give, well, I guess I can give compliments from here. You look great today. Whoever you are, you look fantastic. Keep it up. Take care, guys. I'll see you tomorrow where I'm going live, quarantine day 4. Cheers, guys. See you later.